The courtroom in Washington, D.C. was super quiet when the judge's gavel banged loudly. Sunlight came through big windows, shining on Adam Schiff's nervous face as he walked in. He looked around like he wanted to run away, his hands shaking and holding each other tight. Sweat dripped down his forehead, not just because it was hot, but because he was scared about the fight ahead. Schiff knew why he was there. He posted a video online calling Jeanine Pirro a liar and Trump's helper, and it caused a huge mess. Now he was in trouble for saying mean things and splitting people's opinions. He might even lose his job in the Senate, and his heart was beating fast, like a warning. Across from him stood Jeanine Pirro, who used to be a prosecutor and judge. She looked super confident, staring at Schiff with a calm, strong look, like someone who's won a lot of fights. She wasn't just there to protect her name, she wanted to beat her old rival. One little video started all this drama, and now the courtroom was like a big fire where truth, honor, and power would get sorted. Comment where you're watching from and hit subscribe so you don't miss any juicy stories. Adam Schiff stood at the witness stand, and everyone was super quiet, except for some soft breathing and reporters writing fast. He fixed his tie, trying to stay calm, but his shaky hands showed he was nervous. Judge Margaret Reynolds looked at him like she could see right through him. "Senator Schiff," she said, her voice clear and sharp, "tell us about the video that got you into this mess." Schiff took a big breath, feeling like he couldn't breathe right. He started talking, trying to sound sure, but sounding a bit scared. "Your Honor, I made that video to help people. Jeanine Pirro as a federal prosecutor is a bad choice. I had to warn everyone about her spreading lies." He stopped, glancing at Pirro, who sat there with no expression, arms crossed, waiting for him to mess up. Schiff kept going, his voice getting louder, like he was trying to believe himself. "Pirro said crazy things on Fox News about the 2020 election. She helped cause a big lawsuit that cost Fox News tons of money. How can we trust her as a prosecutor?" He said trust loudly, hoping people would agree, but he saw people in the crowd looking doubtful, and social media was going wild with posts about it. Pirro's lawyer, a tall guy with a deep voice, stood up with some papers. "Senator, you called Ms. Pirro a liar and dangerous. Do you have any real proof, or is it just talk?" The question hit Schiff hard, and he froze, trying to think of something solid. But all he had were clips from Pirro's show, stuff that wasn't enough to prove anything in court. "I used what she said on TV," Schiff said, his voice getting shaky. "She called people investigating Trump venomous snakes in the swamp. That's not how a fair prosecutor acts." The lawyer smiled a cold smile. "So, you're saying your claims come from TV clips, not real evidence?" Schiff tried to answer, but no words came out. He felt Pirro staring at him, and he remembered a time in his office when an aide warned him, "Don't go too far, Adam. The truth will catch up." He ignored that advice, and now in court he knew he messed up. Judge Reynolds banged her gavel, snapping Schiff out of his thoughts. "Senator, answer the question." Schiff swallowed hard, trying to stay calm. "I have the right to speak out as a senator when I see a problem with justice." But his words sounded weak. Pirro's lawyer didn't let up. "Free speech isn't the same as saying mean lies, sir. Did you know your video hurt Ms. Pirro's reputation and caused threats against her?" A big screen showed Schiff's video, his voice loud. "Jeanine Pirro is a liar, only serving Trump." The crowd whispered, and Schiff felt like the ground was falling away. Pirro, quiet until now, looked at him sharply, making him feel small without saying a word. The lawyer kept going. "Mr. Schiff, you led the Trump-Ukraine thing. Some said you twisted the truth about Trump's call. Are you the liar here?" Schiff jumped up, his voice shaky. "That's not true. I did it for the country." Judge Reynolds banged her gavel hard. "Senator, behave, or you're out of here." Schiff sat down, breathing heavily, feeling everyone staring at him. He knew he was losing. All his fights against Trump, from Russia to impeachment, now felt like a big warning. He thought the video was just a normal attack, but it trapped him. Pirro, with a small smile, seemed to know this would happen. Jeanine Pirro stood up, her steps loud on the wooden floor. The light made her blonde hair shine, showing her strong attitude. Everyone held their breath, feeling the mood change from Schiff's nervousness to Pirro's confidence. She put her hand on the witness stand, looked around, and glanced at Schiff, before facing Judge Reynolds. She didn't smile, but her mouth twitched like she was ready to win. Schiff felt his chest tighten, like she was taking over the room. "Your Honor," Pirro began, her voice clear and strong, like a pro-prosecutor. "I'm here to protect my name and show the truth. Senator Schiff called me a liar and Trump's puppet in a viral video. Those words aren't just mean, they're his way of hiding his own mistakes," she said, desperate in a way that made Schiff shrink. The crowd whispered, and reporters typed faster, sensing something big. Pirro kept going, her voice smooth but sharp. "I've worked in justice for over 30 years, from prosecutor to judge to district attorney in Westchester. I started a domestic violence unit to help hundreds of victims. Those aren't lies, they're real facts." She signaled her lawyer to show a big file of her awards and reports. Judge Reynolds nodded, taking the papers, while Schiff looked down, avoiding her eyes. "Senator Schiff," Pirro said, her voice sharper, like she was questioning a criminal, "you say I spread lies about the 2020 election, causing the Dominion lawsuit. But I was just sharing what millions of Americans worried about. Fox News settled that case, and I wasn't named in it. So why call me a liar?" She stopped, staring at Schiff, daring him to answer. Schiff stayed quiet, his eyes looking away, like he was trapped. Pirro remembered late nights on Fox News, calling Schiff's Trump investigations a witch hunt. She once said on air, "Schiff doesn't care about truth. He just wants to stop the president." Now, in court, she felt she was proving it. "Your Honor," Pirro went on, her voice quieter but strong, "Schiff didn't just attack me. He attacked justice by twisting the truth for politics." Schiff's lawyer, a woman with short blonde hair, stood up. "Ms. Pirro, you've supported Trump on TV. How can we trust you'll be fair as a prosecutor?" Pirro smiled coldly. "I backed Trump because I believe in his ideas, like millions do. But my skills come from my legal work, not my opinions. I've prosecuted criminals, upheld justice, and never let feelings get in the way. What has Schiff done except make up stories to hurt his enemies?" The courtroom got noisy, and Judge Reynolds banged her gavel. Pirro, feeling the crowd's support, kept going. "Your Honor, Schiff's video caused division and even threats against me and my family. He didn't just lie, he put me in danger. I want him to take back his words and own up to it." Schiff, sitting at his table, felt trapped. He wanted to argue, but Pirro's words hit hard. He remembered a secret meeting with Democrats where he said, "We have to hit hard at people like Pirro. They protect Trump." Now, that plan was backfiring. Pirro finished strongly. "I'm not here for political games. I'm here for justice. Schiff tried to take me down, but today, the truth wins." She sat down, staring at Schiff like she was saying, "You're done." The crowd cheered until Judge Reynolds quieted them. Schiff lowered his head, feeling the ground shake beneath him. Pirro's lawyer, Richard Conway, stood up with a shiny iPad. "Your Honor," he said loudly, like he was about to drop a big secret, "we call our next witness, Mr. Daniel Harper, who used to work for Senator Schiff." The crowd whispered like wind in grass. Schiff felt a chill. Harper, who quit 3 years ago after a fight about anti-Trump plans, was like a surprise attack. Schiff gripped his chair tightly. Daniel Harper, a middle-aged guy with grayish hair and glasses, walked in. His suit was plain, but his eyes looked serious, like he knew something big. As Harper swore to tell the truth, Schiff's stomach twisted. He remembered Harper warning him, "We need truth, not stories." But Schiff ignored him, thinking politics was about tough moves. Now, Harper was here, and Schiff knew he wasn't on his side. "Mr. Harper," Conway started like a hunter, "setting a trap. You worked for Senator Schiff from 2017 to 2022, right? Did you see him twist the truth to attack enemies? Harper nodded, staring at Schiff. Yes, he said firmly. In 2019, during Trump's impeachment, Schiff said, some details about the Ukraine call were beefed up to make political pressure. The crowd gasped, and Judge Reynolds banged her gavel. Schiff felt pale, wanting to yell that Harper was lying, but he couldn't move. Harper kept going, his voice sharp. Schiff told me, sometimes we have to make a story to win. When he made the video about Ms. Pirro, I wasn't shocked. That's how he works, using media to smear people, no matter the truth. Conway held up the iPad, showing an old email from Schiff to Harper. Your Honor, this 2020 email from Schiff says, we need a stronger attack on Trump. If the truth isn't enough, make it stand out. Mr. Harper, is this real? Harper nodded. Yes, I kept it because I worried about the ethics. Schiff felt like the floor was gone. He looked at his lawyer, Ellen Carter, hoping she'd fight back, but she was just writing notes. Harper went on. When Schiff made the video about Ms. Pirro, he knew it had no proof. I warned him it could backfire, but he said, I need to do this to stop her. That wasn't justice. It was dirty politics. Pirro at her table stayed calm, but her eyes showed she was winning. Judge Reynolds told Schiff to stand. Senator, do you want to respond to Mr. Harper? Schiff stood, his voice shaky. Mr. Harper misunderstood. Me. I always worked for the country, not myself. But his words sounded weak, like a whisper in an empty room. Conway jumped in. Your Honor, Harper's testimony and this email show Schiff twist the truth for politics. The video about Ms. Pirro is just one example. He looked at Schiff, mocking him. You call Ms. Pirro a liar, but maybe you should check yourself. Schiff sat down, feeling everyone against him. Harper left the stand, not looking sorry. Schiff remembered Harper quitting, saying, the truth will catch you, Adam. That day was now. Pirro, still quiet, seemed to have won. Schiff's secrets were out, and his Senate job was in trouble. The courtroom, with its staring eyes and buzzing cameras, felt like a trap with no escape. But the fight wasn't just in court. Outside, a huge storm of politics and media was swirling. Social media posts cut into Schiff's reputation, and Pirro's calm strength made her look like a winner to Trump's fans. Schiff's lawyer, Ellen Carter, stood up, trying to fight back with her sharp voice. Your Honor, Mr. Harper's words are just his opinion, with no proof Schiff meant to lie about Ms. Pirro. She turned to Harper. You left Schiff's team because you didn't agree, right? Is this just you being mad at him? Harper stayed calm. I left because I couldn't work for someone who bends the truth. This isn't revenge. It's about doing what's right. His words stirred the crowd like a rock in a calm lake. Behind the scenes, Schiff's friends, like Senator Chuck Schumer, were panicking. Schumer had texted Schiff before the trial, saying, Adam, take back the video and say sorry or you'll ruin your career. But Schiff, too proud, said no. He remembered Schumer warning him. Trump and Pirro fight dirty. Be careful. Now Schiff knew he underestimated Pirro. Outside, Schiff's team tried to fix the story by telling friendly reporters he was just protecting democracy from Trump's allies like Pirro. But Trump's supporters were louder, their posts spreading fast and putting more pressure on Schiff. Some Democrats started avoiding him, talking about him quitting to save the party. Meanwhile, Pirro's lawyer, Richard Conway, worked with Trump's team, including a media helper close to the former president. Their posts rallied Trump fans and kept reporters busy with updates. A surprise person showed up, Michael Torres, a journalist who worked with Schiff in 2016 on the Russia investigation. Now on his own, Torres gave Pirro's lawyer a secret memo from Schiff's time leading the House Intelligence Committee. It showed Schiff telling his team to find any way to hurt Trump, even with weak evidence. Conway held on to the memo, whispering to Pirro, "We'll let Schiff mess up more." He was confident. In court, Schiff felt trapped. He looked at Carter, hoping she'd fight back. She stood up, trying to change the story. "Your Honor, Ms. Pirro isn't innocent. She used Fox News to call Schiff a traitor and liar. Is she really fit to be a prosecutor?" But her words didn't win over the crowd, especially when a reporter posted, "Schiff's lawyer is trying, but she can't hide the truth. Schiff's losing." Pirro, sitting quietly, felt the crowd turning her way. She remembered running for New York Attorney General, facing attacks but staying strong. Now, with Trump's support, she felt unbeatable. Schiff put himself in danger, she thought, looking at him like she was already winning. The courtroom got darker, and Adam Schiff looked tired, avoiding Pirro's strong stare. Daniel Harper's words and social media posts were hurting Schiff's name, and now lawyer Richard Conway was ready to finish him off. He stood with new papers, his eyes shining like he knew he'd win. "Your Honor," Conway said loudly, "we have one last piece of evidence, a memo from Schiff's office, given by Michael Torres, a journalist who worked with Schiff in 2016. Schiff's heart stopped. Torres, once a friend, left after fighting with Schiff about twisting facts to hurt Trump. Conway held up the memo, and a projector showed it on a big screen. This 2019 memo shows Schiff telling his team to find any way to hurt Trump, even if the proof wasn't strong. This proves he twists the truth. The crowd whispered loudly, and Judge Reynolds raised her hand for quiet, staring at Schiff. He wanted to yell that the memo was wrong, but his throat was dry, like his past choices were choking him. Conway kept going, his voice like a sad story. "Your Honor, Schiff's video about Miss Pirro wasn't about justice. It was to hide his own failures. He used the media to lie about her, but today the truth wins." Schiff jumped up, his voice almost breaking. "That's not true. I did everything for the country, for democracy. Pirro doesn't deserve that job. She's just Trump's helper." His words sounded desperate, like someone drowning. Judge Reynolds banged her gavel hard. "Senator, calm down, or you're out." Pirro, still seated, had a small gleam in her eyes, but stayed calm. She remembered facing attacks on Fox News and winning with her strength. Now she felt like she was standing up for Trump's millions of fans watching online. Schiff's lawyer, Ellen Carter, tried to save him. "Your Honor, this memo isn't about the video. Schiff has the right to share his opinions, and he thought Pirro wasn't fit for the job." But her words sounded weak, like a broken door in the wind. Conway fought back fast. "Opinions don't mean you can lie. Schiff smeared Ms. Pirro, and today's proof shows it's his usual trick." Schiff felt like everything was falling apart. He remembered 2019, reading a dramatic version of Trump's Ukraine call to make it clearer, but now it haunted him. Conway finished strongly. "Your Honor, we ask Schiff to take back the video and say sorry to Ms. Pirro, or face legal and political trouble, maybe even more investigations." Judge Reynolds looked at Schiff like she could see his thoughts. "Senator, do you have anything to say before we stop for today?" Schiff stood, but his voice was weak. "I just wanted to protect the country," he whispered, but no one seemed to care. As the court ended, Schiff left, his steps heavy, like he was carrying all his broken dreams. The dark courthouse hallway matched his mood, hopeless. Outside, the media and social media were like a storm, burning his reputation. Jeanine Pirro walked out like a winner, her eyes shining with confidence, like she knew this would happen. The legal fight didn't just decide Schiff's fate, it shook up America's politics, from Congress to online chats. In a private Democrat meeting, Senator Chuck Schumer, looking worried, met with allies to talk about the damage. "Adam went too far," Schumer said quietly, remembering when Schiff was a star leading Trump investigations. But now the video about Pirro made him a problem. An advisor said, "We need Adam to quit before he hurts the whole party." But Schiff, even with fewer friends, refused to say sorry, hoping a media fight could save him. His team sent out stories saying he was protecting democracy from Pirro, who they called Trump's helper. But conservative media, like Fox News hosts Sean Hannity and Laura Ingraham, kept talking about the trial, showing Schiff as Trump-obsessed and Pirro as a justice hero. The public split grew, with Schiff becoming a joke. Meanwhile, Pirro used her win smartly. In a quick Fox News interview after the trial, she said confidently, "I'm not here for political games. I'm here for justice, and people like Schiff can't stop that." Her words were shared everywhere, with a post from a MAGA warrior getting tons of likes. "Judge Jeanine just taught Schiff a lesson. She's the swamp's worst nightmare." This support made Pirro stronger in Trump's team and a hero for his fans. Trump himself posted on Truth Social, sounding happy and mocking, "Jeanine Pirro is a great warrior, cleaning up the swamp Schiff and Democrats made." Lying Schiff shot himself in the foot. So sad. The post spread fast, hurting Schiff more. Schiff remembered 2019, facing Trump on TV, thinking he was winning. Now he saw every attack on Trump had a price, and he was paying it. Pirro's team kept pushing her win. A Trump advisor told the press Pirro was ready to be a federal prosecutor, planning to drain the swamp and maybe even investigate Schiff's past, like twisting facts during Trump's impeachment. Though no proof was solid, the idea got social media excited, with one post saying, "Pirro will make Schiff pay. The swamp's getting drained." In his dark apartment, Adam Schiff sat still, his tired face lit only by his phone's dim light. The lawsuit with Pirro didn't just take his advantage. It showed how fragile his career was when built on risky moves. Social media kept buzzing, like wind carrying away his reputation. Pirro stood strong, like a lighthouse, loved by Trump's fans as a symbol of strength. The trial was over, but its effects spread like ripples on a lake. Schiff, not yet kicked out, felt pressure from Democrats who were stepping away. Social media judged him harshly. Schiff remembered 2016, looking in a mirror, convincing himself he'd lead the fight against Trump. He thought every attack, from investigations to the Pirro video, was a win. But now he saw the truth always comes back. Pirro, getting ready to be a prosecutor, felt stronger than ever. She thought back to her early Fox News days, facing attacks but staying true. The Schiff lawsuit was tough, but also a chance to prove herself to millions. A social media post called her the future of justice after beating Schiff. The lawsuit, set in America's divided politics, showed a big truth. Words online are powerful but dangerous. Schiff's video calling Pirro a liar put him in a huge mess, losing friends and public support, as social media showed. Pirro used her strong record to prove herself, gaining more fans. This fight, from court to online, showed how a false statement can ruin someone, while truth and smart media use can win. The lesson is simple. In today's America, where social media makes every word bigger, be careful what you say, especially about politics. Schiff underestimated Pirro and Trump's team, and it cost him when proof, like Harper's email and Torres's memo, came out. Always have solid evidence before criticizing someone and be ready for consequences. Like Pirro, build your reputation on real actions, like starting a domestic violence unit, not just words. In a divided world, focus on truth, avoid lies, and use media wisely to protect your honor and values. Hit subscribe to catch more hot political dramas like the Schiff-Pirro showdown. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video with more secrets revealed.